So today I would be talking about command substitution, how command substitution can help in Unix. So understand what it means first by command substitution. When a valid Unix command is written in backticks, which is called as a grave accent sign, which is above the tilde character, then the command is executed and the results are placed instead of the command. So when I put some command in backticks, remember this is not a single quote, it's a backtick. Then this command would be run, and then instead of the command it will place the command results here. For example, if I want to delete all the pipes in my current directory, there is no way to tell this using a command, because there is no command that only get rid of your pipe type of data structures. So see here, I am in as user dict. If I see, there are all other regular files except for this one, which is a pipe, and there could be more than one pipes also. So I don't know which are the pipes, and then find out which are those pipes and then remove them by using pipe 1 as an argument to the rm command. What if there are multiple such pipes? Then find out which are those and then apply an rm command on this one. In such cases, the command substitution can come handy, where, so let's find out which are the pipes first. I said ls-l, all the lines that starts with a P. So this is the pipe type of a device. But what rm command expects? Rm command only expects the file name or directory name. So I must then translate this using a single space. Now all the columns are equally separated by a single space. Further I apply a cut on it and I cut field number 9. Isn't this what you want to pass to rm command? Ideally I should have typed rm followed by this one. But this entity as of now is unknown and there could be multiple such entities. So in such cases the command substitution can really help. I can say rm-f for forcibly removing it, followed by the whole command in backtick. So understand how things work. Whenever the command is included in backtick, the command is executed. You know what happens if I execute this command? What it will produce? It will produce pipe 1. And then so since this is all in backtick, at some point in time or other, the command that looks like this would change itself to, so this is the command given in backtick. I told you what it means by command substitution. The command instead will be substituted by the results of that command, and then my whole command becomes rm-f followed by the name of the pipe, which makes me, so I don't have to find out beforehand which are the pipe type of files. I can find it directly to find out which are the unknowns. So this command is finding the unknowns. I don't know how many pipes are there. So all of them are being found by this particular command, which is later being substituted with its own results, and thus my command then becomes rm-f pipe 1 and it will remove all the pipes. This is especially handy when I say so you see now there are 2 pipes. So again I will check what my command substitution would give. So it would return me pipe 1, pipe 2. Rm command would simply run against those results. So see here, now I am running that command as part of a command substitution, and then once I run it, I rerun my previous command to find out if there are any pipes. See here, they got removed. So command substitution could be one very powerful technique to know unknowns. By unknowns we mean something that I don't know beforehand prior to running the command, then in that case those unknown can be found out using command substitution. Now consider a case that I want to find out the size of all the files which contains the word COT. Now there is WC can only do a word count, provided you must give the file list. And grep can do a pattern match for you to tell you which are those files which contain COT. So I am running only this command. -L of option of grep will give you only file names. It will not give you the lines containing the pattern. So these are those two files which contains the pattern caught. One is sorted words.txt, another is words.txt. I simply have to apply WC against the unknowns. Now the unknowns is grep-l caught star. So it will find out which are those files which contains the word caught from all the files that are available in my current directory. -L option will ensure that it only prints the file name, and then I am applying WC command on to this one. So when I run it in real time, understand the execution. When I run it, first it will be this, next it will become this, and when you run it here, this is what you get. It's as good as saying WC against this file and this file. But here I am providing in the second example here the hard-coded values of the file names. Question is, how did I obtain those hard-coded values? By running a command. Then why can't I put them and club them in one single command instead of putting them into two? So this was my command 1, which finds out files which contains the word COT, and then I run the second command against the files which were found by the first command. So WC is running against those files. So this was the unknown part of my WC command. This part which is put into a backtick. This is the part, as of now it's unknown. So the command will execute. It will produce its own results. The results will be then acted upon by the WC command. So grep found me though there are two files, sorted words and words.txt. WC then acted against those files and then counted words, characters and lines from those files and again the summation of it. So command substitution is a very powerful technique when you work against unknowns. Now consider I want to make a decision which of the two files are larger. So I would make one of them at really larger, because all of them sorted words and words.txt is all the same otherwise. So I will make one of them as larger. Done. So I have added some text. Now consider a case that I want to find out which is the larger of the two files. One is sorted words and another is words. So first I will find out how many characters are there in file 1 and in file 2. See how I am doing. I said wc-c words.txt. Then I say wc-c sorted words.txt. Now you see in one of them it's 40, in another it's 81. Now I want to make a decision on the basis of this one. So how would I say? So write a command wc-c words.txt, note how many characters it displaying, check for the other, and then see which is the larger. How I write it programmatically. So see how I am making the decision now. I am saying a variable characters in first, and then I am putting the whole command in grave accent. If I put only this much, it will print me the characters as well as file name. Am I interested in the file name? No, I am not interested. As of now I am not interested in the file name. Then I am cutting it using the white space as a delimiter, only field F1, the first field. So what has gone to characters in first file now? 81. So if I say echo dollar this thing, it prints me 81. Now I am saying characters in second file. If I say echo dollar, so it gives me 40. Now I am doing a simple comparison. If this is greater than this, then print a message see here. So what we have used here, see, understand this meaning again. The command will run, it will produce its own output. The output in this case is substituted. So this command initially looks like this. After the execution of the command in grave accent, the same thing will look like, it's like variable equal to value. So this is where the command substitution can really come handy. So when there is no single command which can help you directly achieve something, you can use command substitution, conditional execution, pipe operators to do it indirectly, so on and so forth, to skim, to filter the wanted from the unwanted set. Now this was all my unwanted thing. When I assigned it to something, and then I made a decision on the behalf of what values are assigned to them. So cut, tr, pipeline, command substitution, and file descriptors, input redirection, output redirection, and error redirection, gives you an extreme power on the command line. If I know how to work with this thing, pretty much any complex requirement can then be broken into pieces, and a larger task can then be accomplished, which is otherwise, remember, there is no such way you can do a comparison directly otherwise, saying which file is larger of the two. Next is another important concept called as here document. The name itself tells you here document means where is the document? Here is the document. So understand what I mean by this thing. When a command expects an interactive input, you can provide it using the here document. Now first appreciate the problem. What is the problem when I want to remove the interaction part of a shell script? When you would be writing shell scripts. So understand this. I said cat, and then I want to provide some input. So I pressed enter. Then I am providing my input. This is line 1. The default behavior of cat is to echo everything from whatever it has accepted from standard input to standard output. Now what would happen if I put this command in a shell script? By shell script, I want to make it in non-interactive. See how I am doing it here. So I am writing a shell script, cat. This is the only command in my shell script, let's say. Then once this command runs, what will my shell script do? It will wait for my input. Then I am providing my input. This is line 1. Once I press enter, then it will come out and display the same line. Once I am done, I need to press Ctrl D. Only then my shell script will end, which means it depends on the end user to provide an input. What if the input has to be provided through the shell script itself, so as to remove the interaction part of it? So I said less than followed by an exclamation, and then I provide my text. This is line 1. This is line 2. This is line 3, followed by end of input. Now see what happens. Now I am running it. Understand the basic difference of working here. See what happened? I simply copy pasted. Did it wait for my input? Was it waiting for my input from the end user? No. This is what is called as an here document, which says whatever you expect from a document is here itself. And that here in my case is, this is line 1, this is line 2, this is line 3, followed by the end of my here documents input. See what it has done then? It has printed whatever I transferred as an here document to the cat command. It has printed this as is. Clear? So understand the concept behind the here document first. When a command expects an interactive input, you can provide it using the here document. Here document begins with anything that you like for that matter. Less than, exclamation sign. Now that exclamation is not an industry standard, but most of the people follow it. Followed by your input. Followed by whatever character you used here at the here document, you must end the input on the new line by the same character. So people say, does it means this? So which one is correct? Both are correct. People say, can't I write something like this? Is also correct. The important thing to understand is whatever you mention against a here document, that must be the first set of words on the new line, which will be treated as a end of input. So what I mentioned here against the here document, exclamation. Then the exclamation must be the first character on the new line. That will be then treated as a end of input. Here I said end of file with the here document. Type your input. When you want to end your input, UOF should be the first word on any new line. That will be then treated as the end of the here document. Now consider a case. You know how to check who is online. We talked about the who command. So see here, I have two people working on the system. Let's say when I type the who command, I can see there is an Oracle user, there is a root user, there is user 5, there is user 19. Right? I am user Dick, but I never logged in with my ID. I logged in first as root and then internally issued as the Dick user. Now I want to write a message to Dick, to let's say user 5 who is here. But when I use the write command, what happens? No, with write command what happens? The moment I type write, it expects me to type the whole message. What if I don't want to type it, I want to pre-type it? By pre-type means I just want to copy paste and that's the end of the story. After you type it, you need to indicate the end of input by pressing Ctrl D, which I don't want to do here. Solution is give the input as here document. See here now. Understand what this command is doing. I said who prints me everything. Who all are connected. Well, I am interested in sending a message to whom? Only to user 5. So I said, is there user 5? So I said grep from that whole output of who, a line that starts with user 5. So it has eliminated all unwanted. It has only given me the wanted line. Right? Well, am I interested in the output of this thing? I am not interested. My assignment is very simple. It says, check if user 5 is there. If he is there, invite him for coffee. So what this command is giving me? It's only giving me that user 5 is there or it's not there. Let's say instead of user 5, if I would have said user 6, it would have said nothing. Well, I am not interested in whether user 5 is there or whether user 6 is not there. I am interested further in making a decision. If he is there, then invite him for a coffee, means send him a write message. So I am redirecting the whole message to devnull because I am not interested in the pattern matching. I am interested in the command's execution style. If I say echo $? It says 0, means my command was successful. If I say the same thing for user 6 and further say equal dollar question mark, it prints me non-zero value, which means the command has failed. Now in this case the command has failed means the user 6 is not there as of now. He is not currently logged in. And then I want to make a conditional execution. Write to user 5. See what I have used? Conditional execution. When will write command work? Only when the previous command is successful. So the previous command part is this. So I checked who. Then from the whole output I am only interested in finding whether user 5 is there. Well, I am not interested in the output. So I redirected the whole of the output to dev null. Instead I am interested in the exit status of the command. If the command exited successfully with the exit status as 0, that means user 5 is currently logged in. And if he is logged in, then I want to send him a message. So I am writing. But if I simply say write to user 5, see what happens. See what it says now. So it is waiting for input. I said hi user 5. Let's go for a coffee break. And then I need to end my input by pressing Ctrl D. User 5 got your input. But there is in this whole thing, the command is expecting an interactive input, which again has to be ended by pressing Ctrl D. If I want to make this an unattended program not to be driven by human being, then in that case I must put a here document. I don't want this to be driven by human being. It's a fixed message that I want to send him. Then why to again ask somebody to type in? Because the moment interactivity comes, I want to check this at 4 a.m. In the morning. So I said at 4 a.m. in the morning there are two friends working in a shift. One is user 5, another is Dick. Dick has a very habit of sending a message at 4 a.m. because he is getting sleepy or because of midnight. He always wants to invite user 5 for a coffee. The message is fixed, the texture is fixed, the decision making is fixed. Why you want Dick to type this message every now and then? One day, this is also a reminder to user 5 that at 4 a.m. it's the time for coffee because you might get sleepy otherwise. One day Dick was absent. That means nobody would be there. So you would send Dick, go to office because you need to type that message. Your program depends on your interaction. This is where you can put a here document to make that program non-interactive. So wherever some command expects interactive input, that command can then be added with a here document and the whole thing can be then made non-interactive. So see here I am now writing the whole thing in a non-interactive format. I am putting it in a form of a invite.sh, which is my shell script, let's say. So see what I am doing. Check who all are logged in. From that check if user 5 is there. If user 5 is there, I am not interested in the output of grep command, so redirect it to dev null. If the previous command was successful, which means user 5 is there, then write user 5 a message saying hi there, I know you are logged in, whatever, exclamation. So this is where my here document ends. So it won't expect me to type anything. It won't expect me to press Ctrl D to indicate that my end of input has happened. And then I want to simply print a message, echo to myself. Message sent to user 5 without I typing anything for interactive input. This is only a message for me. See here what happens when I run it as a command. So I said run this. See here it says message sent to user 5, means there was a write command there. It never waited for my input. I never pressed Ctrl C. Let's see and confirm whether user 5 got that message. See here. So here document reduces the user's input part of a given command. So if it's a fixed message that you want to send, if it's a fixed input that has to come from a file, then instead of getting it from the user, I can say here is the input. That's why the name here document. So any command that expects interactive input can be then substituted with a here document. You are free to put any symbol or word to indicate the end of here document, like start of UOF or start of UI. Then one thing is there that it must end with the same character then. If you use at the beginning UOF, then it must end with a UOF. If it starts with UI, end of input, it must end with a UI. The end of input or the here document must be the first word on the new line. Clear? This must be the first word. So that's why I pressed enter, went to the new line and then placed an exclamation, because it has to be the first word. You can't say something followed by exclamation. It must be the first word on a given line. Here document is another yet very powerful feature in Unix, which removes the interaction part of a command, which is very important. So I would be discussing about the find command first. Find can be used to locate files. It's a search option like in Windows, which helps you search the files. So you have a find command in Unix instead, which can help you locate files in its most generic format. The find command is written as find followed by the path. The path tells the find command where to search. Then what to search. So this is one of the several patterns, search criterias supported by the find command, which will tell you what to search, or which would tell the find command what to search, and optionally followed by action to be taken against all those files found via the find command. What to do with those files then after they are found? In its most simple format, this is the basic example. I said find, where to find? In my current working directory. What to find? All the files that have a name, anything followed by txt. So I said search for a file with anything that is from ending with an extension .txt. See what happens. So it has found me all the files that ends with txt. I am modifying it. I said instead of just txt, I want it with f star.txt. Instead of just doing this, I said f star1.txt. So it must start with f, should have several characters in between, must end with 1, followed by .txt. So I am finding this time on the basis of name. If you know the exact name of the file, the finding is even faster. So I said now understand the way I mentioned it. When you use name and you know exact name of the file, double quotes are optional. I knew what is the exact name. But if you give a pattern matching wildcard character, star or question mark for that matter, question mark is to match a single character, asterisk is for matching several characters, then if you use star somewhere in your pattern, then the whole pattern must be included in double quotes. Then I must say star.txt in double quotes. But if you know the exact file name, then there is no need for you to mention double quotes. So here I directly said star.txt, but that star is a wildcard character, and that's why I said find star.txt. So understand what that star means. I said ls star, star means all the files. If I say lsf question mark, I don't know if there is any such file which matches to our criteria. Let me touch a couple of them. I said touch f1.txt, f2.txt, and then I said lsf question mark .txt. question mark is acting as a substitute of a single character, whereas star acts as a substitute of multiple characters. Both question mark and star are either called as wildcard characters or meta characters. So they have special meaning. That's why they are called as meta characters. So when in find you want to mention a pattern, then the pattern must be, whole thing must be enclosed in a double quotes. Here I found out on the basis of name. Now see what all are the search patterns available with the find command. Name is not the only pattern way of finding a pattern or way of finding a matching file. Others are -user followed by username. So it will only search for files which are owned by that specific user. So I can say find in my current directory files which are owned by user 7. Well, in my case, if I try to search it in my home directory, obviously it will not find any file of some another user because it's my home directory. It's my private directory where I only have an authoritative right to create a file. But let's go to some other directory, let's say U002TMP. So you see a mix and match here. Some files are owned by Dick, some of them user 1, user 20, user 4, user 30. Now I am saying show me only the files which are owned by Dick. See what it says? On Dick online txt file 1 alias are the files owned by Dick. And I also got an error. It says user 30 directory permission denied. You know that why it is permission denied. This directory is owned by user 30 and others do not have any permission even to go into that directory to find out what's there inside it. So that error is for this thing. But otherwise it gave me an output on the basis of the ownership of the file. So name is one way of finding a probable match, one criteria. Owner is another criteria. Group ownership is the third criteria. I can also find on the basis of group ownership. So I want to find out only the files which are owned by group Unix lab or for that matter group Dick. See what it says. Remember it never listed file 1 alias and it never listed Dick on one line.txt because those files are having a group ownership of Dick, not for Unix lab. So you can search the files on the basis of search criteria called as group ownership. Then you can also search the files on the basis of permissions. So I can search for files on the basis of permissions by saying find in my current working directory where permission is 700. See which are those files. User 30 dir has 700. Then F1 is also having 700. The error says I couldn't go into user 30 dir to find what lies beneath because I do not have permission on it. But otherwise it could list you that there is user 30, the directory and the user 30 dir and there is a file called as F1 which has permission mask set to as 700. So these are nothing but the octal permissions. On the same lines I want to find out which are those files which has 644. F1 has 644. frist.txt has 644. Although it was I believe 7. No, which is the one? Sorry. No, it has displayed the correct one. F1 is not part of this one. It only displayed frist.txt. So which is having the exact permission as 644. So when I look at this, it has 644. Clear? So you can give any permission mask. You can also find out files on the basis of last modification time. But the search is really interesting in this case. Let me first find the output. Now I can find files on the basis of modification time. The pattern is, the option is -m time. It allows you to search files depending on the modification timestamp. But see how to mention it. How to mention the modification timestamp. The value is either specified as n minus n or plus n, where n is some number. To understand this, find in my current directory files having modification timestamp as 2. It means shows files modified exactly 2 days back. Exactly 2 days back. Which are those files from my search locations which were modified exactly 2 days back? Here it shows, here I used plus n plus 2. Shows files modified more than 2 days ago. So older than 2 days. If I say minus 2, shows files modified in less than 2 days. That is, modified files in last 2 days. So understand this. I don't know if you have a file which is modified here in last 2 days. I will go to my directory instead. So see here, no files that were exactly modified 2 days back. But I know, because 2 days back it was Sunday. So I said exactly 1 day back, show me which are those files which got modified. It says copy emp.txt and output.err. I said show me files which are modified older than 2 days. A huge list. I said show me the files which I modified in last 2 days. So each one of them is giving you a different output, understand. Exactly 2 days back, more than 2 days ago, less than 2 days. So that's what is the significance of n minus n or plus n for that matter. So n will show you exactly 2 days back, plus n will show you more than 2 days ago, minus would show you in less than 2 days, which means in last 2 days whichever files got modified. Another way of finding a file is using the option called as -newer. Allows you to search files newer than a certain file. See here. I want to see any file that is newer than this. So I can say find in my current directory files newer than this. So it says these are the files which are newer than this. I don't believe this. So let's see. Is this newer than this one? When was this file last modified? February 3 at 9:56. And the files which are reportedly newer than this are modified on when? Clear? So these files are newer than the one that I used in my search criteria. Extremely powerful command. So I can find out on the basis of files which are newer than this. You can also find files on the basis of inode number. Now a lot of people say, why do we need to find on the basis of inode number? See it here. I said ls-li. I would print in the first column the inode number. Now sometimes some people create file and it gets hidden characters into it. And those hidden characters are not immediately visible. See it here. Now don't you see the way I am typing it. So I said file XYZ space. Now you know for sure there is a space at the end, right? I said show me all the files in a reverse format. Do you see there is a space here? Now see what happens when I try to list out that specific file only. See what it says? Now it is very confusing for me. I can see there is a file called as file XYZ, but when I try to list out, it says there is no such file. I said remove this file, it says there is no such file, because it has got a hidden character at the end. Now you know, because I typed it in front of you, that there was a space. Hidden character could be anything. How do I get rid of such files? It becomes extremely difficult at times then. Now see, I said ls-li of this file. It says, I don't know. Now how do I want to remove this file. It is having a junk character in it. But I don't know what is that junk character. Now I said, well, remove it. I said ltr I and b. See what that b shows? B. This is for I. With a backslash, which is an escape symbol, it is trying to show me that there is indeed some hidden character in it. I don't know which is that hidden character now. Let's try to create another one. File. I am trying to create another file with a hidden character in it. Sometimes the characters are really junk, you can't refer to them. I'm just trying to recreate such a case. See here now, the way I created it was touch in double quotes, name of the file, enter double quotes complete. But when I see at this file, see how it looks like. Now I am saying ls-ltrib, L for long listing, T for time based sorting, R for reverse based sorting, I for inode number, B to print the non-printing characters. Now I know for sure what is there. /n, new line character is there. How do I remove this? This is when the inode number comes handy. You can now search a file on the basis of inode number. I will only search it, not take any action as such. I said find dot hyphen -inum this file. Clear? What to do with this file I will show you later. But as of now I could see that there is, I can refer to that file at least using the inode number, if not via the command. Clear? Now I said ls-l in grave accent, this whole thing, still it says I can't find it out. Because the moment there comes a question mark, that question mark is just a substitute of that /n character, but it's actually a /n. So there is no way. So all such files must ideally be removed or should be renamed. So see what I am doing now. Now I am taking the action part of it. This is anyways a garbage file of no use for me. Then I am saying execute rm-f. See that file got removed. See how I removed it. I said find in my current directory a file with the inode number so and so. Let's not worry about this part. We haven't discussed the action part of a find command so far. But ultimately you can at least relate that finally I have deleted the file. Let's not worry what I have written after this one, because that discussion is yet pending. So you can search a file on the basis of inode number. And then files which are newer than a specific file. So how many search criteria are there? Too many. Name, user, group, permissions, modification timestamp, newer than a certain file, inode number. Too many search criteria on basis of which you can search a file. Now I would talk about, so I talked about this portion. What to search? What are the different ways to put your opinion into the command, saying this is what I want to search. Now where to search? Allows you to mention one or more than one locations separated by space. So see here, I said find in my current directory under TMP, under USR TMP. How many locations I gave? 3. One is current directory, another is TMP, another is USR TMP. What? A file with the name star.mp3. Wherever it encountered an error that I am not able to traverse into that directory because of the lack of permissions, it has printed me an error. Otherwise it would have printed me an output if there would have been any file with the extension .mp3. Let me touch one mp3. Now I search. See, it found one. For all others there were errors. So it couldn't find in other directories because of the lack of permissions. I couldn't go in there and so on and so forth. Clear? So important thing that I want to highlight in this example is you can give multiple search destinations for the file. So I have given 3 destinations. You can put in any number of destinations provided they are separated with a space. Now the most important part of it. So I talked about find, where to search, multiple destinations can be given. You can use multiple search criteria on the basis of name, user, group, permission, newer than, modification time, inode number, so on and so forth. Well, what should happen once the file is found? That is what is called as an action. What to do with the file once it is found? That can be given as an action statement. The action to be taken is not mandatorily mentioned. Default action is to print. So what find will do? Whatever you mentioned in the find, it will print the file names matching to their search criteria. The default action is always print. What if I want to do other than just printing the file? I want to do some serious action against those files. Allows some valid Unix commands as an action on those files found by the find command. You can take some Unix command as action. Actions can be either specified using -exec or -ok. So you can provide 2 types of actions, execute or ok. Execute is a silent action. OK is an action with confirmation. So first, so both are of same purpose. They both take some action against a file. Execute will take action without prompting for a confirmation, while OK would take an action by prompting you for the confirmation, followed by any valid Unix command. There is a learning though. So see here, I said find where in my current directory. What? A file with the extension .star.mp3. What to do once found? I said OK, remove the file. Now understand the syntax part of the action. This is the beginning of the action, either with execute or with OK. So action can either start with execute or OK. The difference I told you, execute will do the task silently. OK will get a confirmation before doing, followed by some valid action, Unix command. Now if the Unix command expects a file name, then the file can be given as opening and closing curly bracket which acts as a placeholder. So see what I am doing here now. I said okay, meaning take a confirmation before running the action. What is the action? Remove. Remove what? Any file that has an extension .mp3 found by my find command. Take an action against this file. Now the file name itself is mentioned as a placeholder. Now what will go inside the placeholder? Every time a file with the extension .mp3 is found, the command will then become rm that file. I don't know what is that as of now. That will be found by my find command. That's why the curly braces are acting as a placeholder. Followed by end of action symbol. End of action symbol for it is space backslash semicolon is the end of action. See what happens now. See what it says now. Do you want to delete in the current working directory ddlj.mp3? Now why it is prompting me? Because I said okay. I said no, I don't want to delete this. Now see what's the difference when I replace and my file is still there, by the way. See what happens when instead of okay I use exec. No confirmation was prompted. There is no such file now. Clear? So without a confirmation it has taken the action against the file because I used -exec. Now consider another case. I would touch that file one more time. And this time I am using this command. If I don't mention the action, see what's the default action. See what's the default action by there. It prints in its own proprietary format. I don't want to print it in this format. Instead I want to print as a ls-l output. Then I said execute ls-l. But if I simply say ls-l, it will show me all the file. Then I am putting a curly brace, meaning placeholder. Placeholder for what? Whatever file is found by my find command, the command would then become ls-l ddlj.mp3 followed by end of action. See now. So instead of giving a traditional output of a find command, which is just a print action, now I have asked Unix to take an alternate action on it. On the similar lines, if I want to check for the file named txt, so I want to search in all files named txt. Then I want to execute grep-l on each of those txt files to find out. So see what it means. Find in my current directory all the files that has a name .txt. Then all those files which are found, run a grep command on them to find out which of those files contains the word COT. And if the file contains the word COT, don't print me the line containing that pattern. Instead, print me just the file name. See here, extreme power. Extreme power. It's a very powerful way of running a command. So not only I found out files named txt, I also found out from those txt files only the ones that contains the word caught, and that too I am only listing the file name. So you can take any valid action after exec or after OK. I said find in my current directory all the files with the name f*.txt once found, execute, copy. What is the syntax for copies? Copy source to destination. Source is unknown, so placeholder. Copy it to /tmp/ followed by end of action. See what it says. Some files it managed to copy, for some others it has errored out, because there must have been already f1 and f2.txt in tmp location, which must be owned by some other user probably. That's why it never allowed me to overwrite. See here. What I have done? Search for all the files that starts with fstar.txt. Once found, execute, copy those files to tmp. Clear? So very powerful action plan can be given. I could have also said move all the files that are with the extension star.mp3 with a confirmation, move each of those files that has been found to tmp location end of action. This end of action is very important, backslash semicolon, space backslash semicolon, which says this is where my actual action ends. Now, people say, what if I want to search a file on the basis of multiple criteria? Then understand this. If there are multiple criteria to be specified, that means there must be some logical conjunction. When name is this and user is user 7. When name is a*.txt or user is user 7. So you can put multiple logical search patterns together. So see here what this command is doing. I said find in my current working directory. This is part of the syntax because I am giving multiple search elements. Then I said name should be p*.txt and the owner of that file should be user 7, followed by the search criteria like backslash round bracket, backslash round bracket. Then execute ls-l on such files. So what I have mentioned here, where to search. What is this portion? What to search, but multiple patterns. I said name has to be p*.txt and, now where I mentioned and. So and is mentioned in the find condition with a -a and or is mentioned with a -o. So here it says file name should be p*.txt and also the owner should be user 7. When such a file is found, execute ls-l on that file. Check another example. I said find when the name is a*.txt or the owner is user 5. On such file, execute ls*.txt. Let's check whether or not it gives you the correct answer. So there is a file which is owned by Dick starting with the name F. So I can write here what it says. This is the file which starts with F and is owned by Dick, and then print it. If I remove this criteria and instead I said or, see the output is different. I said the name should start with F or the owner should be Dick. Clear? So multiple patterns can be clubbed together with and or operator, provided you should stick to the syntax. This is the syntax making part of it when there are multiple search patterns. So this is one important command that will give you enough power on the command line to search any file that you want. Well, that's it for this session.